Karen Shade, 111 Wisconsin. I wanted to ask, with the budget hearing next week, is any of the budget information ready for public review?
I think the way we're planning on doing it next week, we'll announce that we'll do the hearing the following week, and I can have the budget brochure and some stuff to kind of set the tone, so if people want to come to the hearing, they can be informed.
So the hearing will be the 17th then?
It will be,
The 9th?
next week is the 9th, right? So it'd be the next week. We just announced that we're going to be doing the hearing next week.
So the
Okay.
information will be available next week.
Next week, and we'll have a week to study it. Thank you.
Seeing no one else coming forward at this time, we'll move on to regular business. Item number 1.
Item number 1 today is to approve the agenda for the public forum as presented.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we move to approve the agenda for the public forum as presented.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Item number 2.
The approval of County Commission minutes for July 26th of 2016.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the County Commission minutes of July the 26th, 2016 as hold it, there's a correction on there, I believe. No, not a correction on ours. It was in the paper. I think it said $700, and I think Bill Ficus, we gave him $750.
The city said that they only okayed 700, and
Oh.
they said that they matched ours, but we did give them 750, and the city did give 700, so it was in the paper.
Okay, it was pretty
Yeah.
hard for me to figure out what they really were
Right.
talking about, because they were talking about $3,500 when I heard it. That was totally different than what
Right.
I heard in our.
But that wouldn't be in our minutes. But
Okay.
I
I
understand what
just
you're saying.
wanted to get it straight there, though.
All right. Is there a second?
So, yeah.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Item number 3.
Item number 3 is Road and Bridge update. We have with us today Darren Fischel, Road Superintendent, and then later a report by Neil Cable, the County Engineer.
Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner. We did get our new loader. It's a
Nice looking.
Cat 930 loader, and there's a grapple attachment on the front that is removable. So we've taken it off, and we'll use it for aggregates this year, and then come winter, we'll put it back on and start using it for tree work. A little bit of the activities by the rural operators. What you're looking at here is a ditch cleaning layback. It's where we take the motor grader and just put the dirt back into the field. Very effective way to do ditch cleaning in the cultivated parts of the county. Saves a lot of labor and time. This is some reshaping and recompact of Ohio Street from Waterwell Road to Minna Road. During one of the many rains that we've had lately, it got tore up, heavy truck traffic, and we just had some people, and we just went over there and reshaped it, put the crown back in the road.
Was that a new water truck there that we got recently, or we had that a while?
No, that's not a new water
okay.
truck.
We've had that quite a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's an old milk truck. That's what
Yeah.
that is. And we went and rented this piece of equipment, which is a pneumatic roller from Foley Equipment, to accomplish that, to seal the surface. This is a wing wall repair on a box. The water doesn't come straight into this box. Underneath there's, we buried a couple of those concrete Lego blocks to keep that from washing out. This is on Country Club Road west of Simpson. I got a call about some overgrowth on a bridge structure there underneath there, so we went over there and did some temporary work to clean the trees out and make the signs. We'll have to go back this winter to finish up, but at least you can be able to see through there. This is some asphalt work that we did on the overlays on Kip Road. When they go through there and pave, we go back and get a little asphalt and repair those drop-offs. This is on Cunningham Road, south of Rose Hill. There's a little low water crossing that whenever it rains, it washes the top off of it, and it was we went and got some asphalt and cleaned that off and just made that so we don't have to go back every time now. So when the water goes over it, it won't wash out. This is a wing wall on a box on Burma Road, north of Watkins. It's eroding, cracked, and failing and about ready to fall off. We had some old H-pile in the yard, and we went and sunk some holes about 9 feet below the flow line and welded these H-pile together, and then put some decking in front of it, and then just poured some concrete down between the wing wall and that decking to repair that, and then put some rubble there in the bottom. Where you see the rubble in the bottom, that's repurposed, recycled concrete. They did some work on I-35 flat panel repair, and we took all of that, and so we go rent a breaker when it's rainy like today, and break that stuff up so we could reuse it. It was all just given to us. This is some head walls on State Street. There were 2 of them at this location. We went and hired a contractor. They have what they call a horizontal saw that they can attach. These head walls were built as part of the structure, so we hired them to come in and cut them off level with the road surface. So when a vehicle does exit the roadway, those head walls aren't their problem. Just some safety improvements that we made on that stretch of road. This is a concrete culvert at Tamara Lane and Parsons. Since it's been wet, wherever we have these concrete jointed pipes, when you get a lot of heavy rains, the bells break, and then they create a lot of potholes. So when we get the chance, we replace those with a continuous corrugated metal pipe. This is another one, same thing. Concrete pipe separated at the joints on, I can't read my own writing. It's on Fairchild south of Sundgren. And we go in there and we clean away from them, get the flow from the culvert. This is a box on Chapel Hill Road. This is just west of the bombing range. There's a box down in there, and it had started to separate, settle, and fail, and we replaced it with a corrugated metal pipe. This is on Armstrong Road, west of Brown Hill Road, area prone to flooding, and it had washed out underneath that culvert. We had to dig that out and recompact it and reset it. And then this is also some of the damage from that same storm. We just went in there and refilled that, and then put some of this rubble in there to kind of help with the erosion. This is on Centennial Road, another pipe that was failing. We went in and raided that. This is also on Centennial and Fallen. Here's a culvert that had been repaired at one time with an old aluminum sign, but since it had this concrete head wall on it, we decided it wasn't a good candidate for repair, so we went ahead and put a new culvert in it, part of the safety to get rid of that concrete head wall. This is on Cloud Street, west of Headville. If you look over there on the right, you can see the washed out culvert. When the heavy rains came through, it actually washed that culvert out, and we did a quick repair on the road. And then engineering sized us a new culvert. That one was too small, so we went ahead and took the dirt out of the fields and rebuilt the road, and got the correct size culvert in there, so hopefully it won't flood across the road every time it rains. And that's just another shot of that. So we lowered the field and did a layback. When we do these laybacks, when you see our equipment out in other property owners, we have their permission. We do talk to them. We don't just go out there and do it. We get their permission to perform these work activities. This is an entrance on Humbarger, just east of Cunningham. And I got a call from a gentleman, and he wanted to extend this culvert. And it is our responsibility if there's an entrance culvert in there. So looking at the terrain and the lay of the land there, we would have had to provide 24 feet, and then he would have had to buy a piece to put on it to make it as wide as he wants. But looking at the lay of the land and just moving this thing maybe 100 yards or so to the west takes that out of our inventory. And so we built him what we call a plug entrance. Removes that asset, and nobody will ever have to go back and do any work to this again. So those are some of the things that we look at when we get these calls for culverts. This is a box structure on Whitmore, just north of Mariposa Road. We weren't even aware that this one was here. It wasn't on anybody's inventory. Something heavy ran over it and destroyed the top of that plank. But in talking with Neil, got Neil involved because, you know, he's the floodplain manager. And this structure hasn't worked in, oh, I couldn't tell you how many years, but Neil, looking at the contours, decided that it would help the drainage in that area if it did flow again. So we used the existing concrete that this was laid on and just put a culvert back in there. That's the end of my pictures. Does anybody have any questions?
When you get permission from a landowner, you get that in writing?
Yes, typically, not always. You know, there are some people that you just know that work well with you, and then others we say, you know, we have them sign a hold harmless statement, yes.
Further? Go ahead, Commissioner.
Where you're talking about that plug, it was like that one that we went out there and we took it to the top of the hill, so it actually drained both ways. Is that a plug? Is that what you?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that was, because I remember when I went out to Lyle's and we did the same thing out there, I believe, because, okay.
I'd suggest you get those signed anyway, because we've had 2 lawsuits over that. I'd get those signed, and it won't come back on you. I would. I think it's pretty important. Yeah, I'd get it signed, because we've had problems in the past, and people that you think you would never have a problem with. I remember Mr. Tilburg, you know, we had that problem with that land, so I'd sure get that statement signed so we don't have to have all those insurance problems and stuff.
All right, Neil?
These are the engineering division projects for June and July. One thing on that last one that Darren showed to, where they put in the culvert pipe, the only thing I was going to mention is we did try to save that structure. We try to save them if we can, but the more we dug it out, the more it just kind of was a little bit hopeless, so they put the pipe in. So it
wasn't one of them wood ones, was it?
It was a 2-barrel box structure, concrete sides and timber top. And they took the timber off and were taking the dirt out, but the sides were leaning in too bad. But, you know,
I know one time I was out there on that one on the bridge, and it was wood on both sides, right on that railroad track. That was kind of an unusual box.
But we try to save them if we can.
Yeah,
you know?
I know you do.
Sometimes you can.
You do good.
Anyhow, just start with the work that occurred, the contractual work that occurred during the last couple months, and go first to our contract with APAC Kansas for our asphalt work, and that's our project 165335. And this work really, this is Kip Road, and this was done in early June, and we up till about June 13th, I believe, is when they pulled off because of harvest. And so they really haven't done any work since that time, so I'll go through these real quick. You've seen this process before. It's just the application of the tack coat to the existing pavement. Then they do a leveling course to try and get out some of the unevenness of the pavement, and then come back with the surface, laying the surface course on top of the leveling course, and go through those pretty quick, because you've seen the process before. It's always interesting to us, you know, but a little bit repetitious, I suppose. Compacting the asphalt with the rollers, and so they went all the way from Country Club Road all the way down to K4 Highway, however many miles that is, 7 miles or 9 miles, yeah. And matched the asphalt overlay to the bridge decks, and did the radiuses, a lot of handwork in the radiuses when they're doing that asphalt work. We did have one area where we had some slippage of the asphalt overlay. We've had a lot of discussions with APAC as to why that occurred. It's not real extensive in 9 miles of asphalt work, but they are going to come back in and mill those out. And that's a good question. Well, yeah. I mean, there's several theories, and none of them are for sure. But we used to use a different seal coat product years ago, and we've found some places where it creates kind of a slip plane at the old pavement surface. And so we kind of think that might be the issue. Not entirely certain. You know, it could be that the tack coat was not adequate in those areas. It's not coincident with any driveways or any kind of turning movements. It's just right in a straight section of the road, so it's not entirely clear. But APAC did some patching, and then also the county crews did some Dura patching in those areas, and they're passable right now, but they are going to be milled out and relayed. So it's not extensive in that long a stretch of pavement, so I don't want everybody to think, we got wholesale failure, but we did have a couple of places that we're aware of, and, they will be fixed.
Well, and it was right there when all them big trucks were coming
Yeah.
down there, and they just opened it up on the
Yep.
following weekend.
Yeah, we had
After
some
it
more
was
cure
done.
time, but yeah, I mean, they pulled off pretty much, and then all the green trucks started rolling, so, I mean, we really kind of pushed that limit a little bit too much, but, so anyhow, whether that's the issue, it's really hard to say.
It was hard to say because it looked like it was dry underneath when
Yeah.
it slipped.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
noticed that they sprinkled it a little and then put more on it and
Yeah,
then
and it
rolled
slipped-
it in. And
Slipped right down to the old pavement surface, so,
but they are they're gonna mill that
Yes, sir.
out
They
anyway
will- they
because all
will
of
mill
them
'em.
are marked.
Next project is our Waterwell Road Bridge construction, and I'll go through those real quick. This started on July 6th. They started clearing and grubbing out for if everybody's been through that area knows that's a pretty deep draw there on Waterwell Road, where Spring Creek crosses Waterwell Road. And they cleared and grubbed out the trees so we can build the road embankments. So go through those pretty quick. We replaced the crossroad culvert pipe that's that's east of the new bridge site. Significantly upsized the pipe. This is a 60-inch corrugated metal pipe through that area. That's just laying the pipe, and the pipe's installed. What's going on out there right now is to build the embankments for the approaches to the new bridge is going to take a lot of soil, borrow material hauled in, and they've worked with the landowner to the south side of Waterwell Road and worked out an arrangement to get borrow from there. So they're currently hauling the dirt and building up the road. So we have a few pictures of them. That's what you're seeing out there right now is a lot of dirt being hauled in and the road being built up. So that'll go on for a while longer before the bridge, before King Construction actually comes in. This is their earthwork subcontractor. And then,
Quite a raise. It's about probably 8 feet or
yeah,
so.
the road's coming up quite a bit in that area. And also, there is a residence out there on the north side of Waterwell Road, and had to replace the water line to that house as part of the project. Just a few of the pictures of replacing the water line in there. And I went back to the office after I was down here this morning, and we were talking about the improvements to the shop building out there, and that really didn't start until yesterday, which it should be in my September update. But since we were talking about it, I went ahead and put the pictures in just to show you what's happening. That's installing
Nice.
the first two new doors. Exterior view, that was as of about noon yesterday, and that's the interior view. They're really nice insulated doors. They replaced all the tracks, and the doors really fit nice to the floor and the walls, and I think it'll cut down on a lot of the dust that blows in there, and also help insulate the bays.
Those wider doors, are they
These are the same width doors. This is on the masonry portion of the building, so
have some that are wider?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, these are the ones we left the same.
Yeah. We also, the contractor, as you recall, about 2 weeks ago, we talked about some add-on items, and we really got the list of to the contractor, but he's been gone for a couple weeks, and so we hope to get with him pretty quick and get some prices to bring back to you on those additional add-on items. So I think that's all I got.
Very good. Questions? Any public comment?
Norman Mantle, Salina, Kansas. On these roads where you've cut these head walls on these bridges, does that weaken the design any?
It is not. That's why we use the saw.
And are these roads on a main arterial road?
Yep.
Okay, are these roads funded with any state funds
Not that I'm aware of.
for maintenance of it? Well, this happened in another county. In main arterial roads, if state money is involved, you cannot alter the structure of those bridges without state permission. This happened up in Lincoln County. So I just thought I'd...
These, we talked to Neil, and he's a structural engineer, and he said, that they needed to be cut off. They couldn't just be beat off with a hammer, and they were boxes, not bridge laying.
I understand this. But even if it's a dirt road and there's state money involved, you cannot change these structures without state authorization because state funds help support it. So I'm just... This happened up in Lincoln County.
Thank you, Norman. Appreciate it. Gentlemen, always enjoy your updates. That's obviously a very important department, so looking forward to your next one. All right. Is there any other business that needs to come before the commission today? Under announcements, we will meet briefly upstairs for an executive session, I believe. An executive session. There will be no action afterwards. Also, if you haven't voted yet.
Yep, I think Don would be encouraging that, wouldn't he,
Yeah,
right now?
Don would be encouraging going out and voting today. I believe elections do matter, and I especially believe that local elections matter. And we have 6 candidates in the room today, and just want to say best to all those, and thank you for your willingness to serve. Any other announcements?
I just want to remind everybody, especially the viewers at home, that the parade starts tonight down Santa Fe at 7 p.m. This has been these last couple weeks have been really busy down with the Fair Board and all the people that are involved down at Kenwood Hall and Ag Hall. The parade starts at 7 down Santa Fe. And then I think there was some preliminary judging today with all the main events and attractions beginning tomorrow through Sunday. Just encourage everybody to support the Saline County Tri-River Fair.
And Chairman, I count 7 out there.
Up here.
Well,
7 candidates.
you said 6.
Or 6. No, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That guy's not a candidate. He looks like a candidate. Look at him.
He might
should
run
be in
for your
politics.
position. All right. Any other announcements?
I have a quote from the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of this country, John Jay. He says, "The Bible is the best of all books, for it is the Word of God and teaches us the way to be happy in this world and in the next. Continue, therefore, to read it and regulate your life by its precepts."
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.